Yo, what's up guys? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review, here to lay another mandatory boot on you. This one's actually a DVD, not a CD. We got Dio's A Special from the Spectrum. Yup, that VHS from '84, pressed onto a silver DVD, so, you know, no DVD-R junk here. Also came with it, for a couple dollars more, was a bonus DVD. This one's a Pro Shot Collection, 84 to 86. 3 different performances. I think we got 8 more songs off of this guy. Some of the songs repeated from the original show, but some that weren't on this Special from the Spectrum, so I find that really cool too. We'll go over both of them. If you guys can hit like and subscribe before we get started, that'd be great. And I appreciate everyone. Thanks to everyone who's already subscribed. Hopefully you're enjoying things. Obviously enough to subscribe, so cool. All right, so let's just go over briefly. Of course, you know, things don't work out with Dio and Sabbath. Late '82, things fall apart. Mixing Live Evil. Dio wastes no time getting his own band going. He brings Vinny Appice from Sabbath on drums. And then old friend Jimmy Bain from his Rainbow days is going to play bass, and they write the Holy Diver album. Vivian Campbell's the last one to actually officially join. The Holy Diver's already written. But then we fast forward again to when Last in Line's being recorded in early '84. So of course, you know, striking while the iron's hot. Dio already has a couple of hits. The title track from Holy Diver and Rainbow in the Dark was huge, even in where I lived in Philly. Kind of reluctant to play metal unless it was a huge hit, but that song got a lot of... The song's a perfect metal song because, yeah, it was a hit, but it's also a great song anyway. Sometimes that's not usually the case. It was there, in my opinion. So eventually, Claude Schnell does join the band, but he doesn't write anything. He's not even seen on stage during the Special from the Spectrum, but he is part of the band at this point. The album Last in Line's released July 2nd, 1984, and then which brings us pretty much to the video we're going to talk about. Special from the Spectrum. Like I said, it was released on VHS back in the day. Recorded. Is it July? It's August 25th, 1984, the Philadelphia Spectrum, which of course is now long gone. Rest in peace. Dio had a real fondness for that place. We'll get to that in a minute. So I think he even mentions in the video that he's, you know, somewhere along after one of the first couple songs, you know, no better place to start and end. And I think what he means by that is that the Holy Diver tour started in Philadelphia in December of '83, as far as the U.S. section of the tour. I think he had already been to Europe. And then the Philadelphia Spectrum show was the last show in '84 on the U.S. tour for Last in Line. And I think he would come back around to do the U.S. again, but that's what he means by that. Of course, you know, in '86 he would do another concert video at the Spectrum. Live in Philly, Sacred Heart Live in Philly. I don't have that one. I think I'm going to get that one next. I'm so pumped up from watching this Special from the Spectrum. I watched this once, back when it first came out. A buddy of mine, Rick, had it. And I honestly didn't remember anything about it other than I thought it was good. Well, I'll tell you, I have not seen this thing in 38 years or so. Blew me away. Blew me away enough to stop myself in my tracks from whatever video I was working on next and just focus on doing this one. So good. We're going to get to the details about it. Now, first of all, I just wanted to mention that I'm not sure if I read this somewhere or heard Dio himself say this. I'm not going to pretend to know as 100% fact, but the rumor is, or the legend has it, that Dio first had a love for Philadelphia for a couple of reasons. Obviously, one being the name, the Spectrum, sort of fits in with all his sort of mystical lyrics and imagery. But also that while he was on his first tour with Sabbath, with the Heaven and Hell tour, that it took until the Philadelphia show, which I think was like the 22nd show of the tour in the U.S. anyway, started in Europe. But that was the first city where Dio didn't hear one question about Ozzy, one fan chanting Ozzy's name or saying Ozzy's name, or somebody asking, where is Ozzy? Philadelphia was the first show where Black Sabbath was basically, in Dio's mind, established as Dio's band. That's the legend. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. I think I might have heard Dio himself say that. Not 100% sure. It's been many years. I've read so many things through the years. Can't keep them all straight. Anyway, that's the history with it. It kind of makes sense if you think about it. Dio's, from New York, not Philly, and yet records 2 videos there. Definitely love the place. I did hear a video of him once saying it was his favorite place to play. Anyway, let's get into it now. So, first of all, what makes this video so great? First of all, I know the 80s lighting, right? It seemed to be pretty typical, but I don't know. It's really creatively done. I'm talking about the stage lighting. This is a 55 or so minute video, so it's not a full concert. But I hardly ever see the same sort of light rig on twice, more than maybe a couple of times, and those things only last a few seconds anyway. Creative use of that stage fog, it just, God, does it work anywhere better than a Dio video? We have a pyramid structure as the base of the drum riser, so it's behind the band. You have a sphinx on either side of the stage. You have that monster figure from the first 2 albums sort of towering over it all, sort of sinister looking with those red eyes. There was some other sort of structure behind Vinny off to the left when you're watching the screen that had like a red light behind it. There's just such a great lit stage show. And I didn't see this tour. I've never saw Dio solo live, and I really regret it now, but at least we have this. There are lasers in here. Sometimes it's Dio's name in laser form spinning around. Other times just random streams. You have the camera. The camera work here is awesome because you got lots of close shots of the band from right up in front of the stage. Lots of crowd shots, which I like. I can't stand a rock video where there's no shots of the crowd at all. You get no sense of feel for the crowd. There's some good crowd shots in here, not too much, just enough to give you a sense of the joint. Limited editing. I have a real eye for when there's music doesn't match up to what you're seeing on stage. I only saw that in a couple of spots. For an almost hour-long video, that's saying a lot. And this was filmed on one night. It's not like they had multiple nights to look at or to, worth of film to edit and piece together. Really done great. The pyro's awesome. There's fireworks dripping off the light rig up above their head at times. When they do Heaven and Hell, you have those flames that they tried using during some of the Heaven and Hell tour. It sounds like they didn't work most nights. Different version of it here. Instead of a burning cross, they just have sort of lit torches popping up from the stage. So much going on here. The guitar's lit up during the solo, sort of a la Ace Frehley in a way. Dio's cracking a lighted whip and whipping up at the lighting rig, and fireworks are coming off when he cracks the whip. There's so much going on here. It's just mind-boggling how great. This looks like one of the greatest rock shows I think I've ever seen. It's one of my favorite videos, and like I said, I haven't seen it in years. It's just instantly one of my favorite rock videos. Top 10 for sure, maybe top 5. It's incredible. Of course, the music, is solid. Start out with a quick intro, not much to that. Just basically has the name and date of the show. Within 20 seconds or so, the music's playing. Stand up and shout and don't talk to strangers. Double shot off Holy Diver, great way to start. Then you get Mystery, it became a single, I think, in Europe. I saw it as an import back in the day. Of course, not one of my favorites, probably not many people's favorites, but it sounds pretty good here. It sounds good. Everything sounds great. Band's on fire. Almost forget to say that. I'm so excited about everything else you see on this video. Then you get another sort of a deep cut off Last in Line, Egypt, the Chains Are On. That sounds great, which segs into Vinny Appice drum solo. The drum solo goes into Heaven and Hell. Sounds awesome. Just when you think Heaven and Hell's about to wind down into sort of a finale, it goes into a full version of the Last in Line, and then comes out of that into the Heaven and Hell reprise, which I said, like the Dio uses the props there on the side of the stage. And you have to say, it's much better seeing this video than listening to. I have like 3 or 4 bootlegs from Dio. I have one from Holy Diver Tour, but I have like 3 from Last in Line Tour, which you can easily get on Amazon, by the way. They don't do this concert justice, to be honest with you. You really need to see what's going on. The one thing I didn't really love with those audio concerts I have of his are the cover song. You know, the Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules and Man on the Silver Mountain, which Man on the Silver Mountain's not on this video, but because they're played a little faster, I just didn't really dig them audio-wise, and now seeing Heaven and Hell live, it's great. I was wrong, basically. Rainbow in the Dark's killer. Just when you think it can't get any better, they come out with a full version of the Mob Rules. So I'm not really a fan of the medley thing, but the Heaven and Hell into the full Last in Line, back into Heaven and Hell works great with solos in there. After Mob Rules, you got We Rock and some end credits. Fantastic freaking video. A highlight of my viewing and listening for this year for sure. This, like I said, comes on a silver press DVD. Now, let's talk about a little bit of the specs. The aspect ratio is more of sort of like a square, not even a square. The picture will take up your full screen top to bottom, but it'll be cut off on both sides. And that seems to be how all the old VHS and Laserdisc transfers tend to go when they get pressed on the DVD, to keep the same aspect ratio, to keep proportions the same. That's just how it has to be. Sound is just your basic Laserdisc sound. Now, the source for this one is off of the Japanese Laserdisc. I don't see any flubs in it at all, so it's not like it's coming off videotape. Laserdiscs were a forerunner to DVD, but there's nothing really that much better quality-wise than VHS. So that's the quality. It's like really, really good. But it's not DVD at all. But still very watchable. It's like having a brand new copy of the VHS in your hands at all times. That's all I was after. That's what I got. It cost me about 20 or 22 pounds. So it translates to about 28 bucks, maybe $30. I bought it with a bunch of other things, so it was $20 shipping for everything. So to give you some sense, basically that's what people charge you. Roughly 20 bucks for a box full of stuff if you order from overseas. Now, the Pro Shot collection that came with it is super cool. Like I said, you got Rock Palace from Hollywood, January 4th, 84, 4 songs from that. Now, the Rock Palace that I saw with Sabbath on the Born Again tour, which is practically, I think, the same month or so, that looks lip-synced and mouthed, mimed. Not the case here. These songs are absolutely 100% live. This is Dio doing Stand Up and Shout, Straight Through the Heart, Rainbow in the Dark, and then Man on the Silver Mountain. Great performances there. That's in Hollywood, California, Rock Palace. Next up, you get a couple songs from the Pink Pop Festival that he did in January of 84 in Holland. One Night in the City. God, I love that song. Killer song. And then We Rock. And finally, they fast forward to 86, The Tube, Newcastle, UK. You get Hungry for Heaven and Rock and Roll Children. Not my favorite Dio stuff, but overall for a bonus DVD, it's kind of nice. I think I paid an extra $4 for that. So anyway, guys, that's basically the story, man. This is a hell of a concert. I highly recommend you seeking this out. I kind of just took a chance on this. I just remembered it was good 37, 38 years ago. Loving it. Looks like no label. I don't see any label printed on the back, but as far as I know, this is the only version out there. I like the cover. Kind of a take on the original VHS, but a little bit cleaner graphics and stuff. Back, same deal. All right, man, that'll do it for this one. Dio, a special from the Spectrum. 1984, Last in Line tour. The band is on fire. The song selection's great. The stage blows my mind. All right, man, check it out, and I'll catch you guys later.